Mr. Chairman, the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case is baffling. It's frustrating the American people, and it's exacerbating the mistrust in the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. In February, Attorney General Bondi, 17 days into the job, said in a Fox News interview that the Epstein client list was, quote, "sitting on my desk right now to review," end of quote.
Senator Dick Durbin just ripped into Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Trump administration for playing games with one of the darkest scandals in modern politics, the Epstein files. Bondi promised transparency. Instead, all we got was smoke, mirrors, and more mistrust.
The White House then staged a major media release of Epstein-related files on February 27th, including preparing binders for conservative influencers and commentators. However, the files released were largely already publicly available. There was nothing new. After intense blowback, Attorney General Bondi went back to Fox News, the mothership, and claimed that a whistleblower, quote, assured her there were more files, and that, quote, New York, Southern District of New York, was sitting on thousands of pages of documents. And she promised on Fox, and I quote, "We will get everything, and the country will see, quote, the full Epstein files." These are quotes from Attorney General Bondi voluntarily appearing on Fox News to explain the situation. For the next 4 months, the Department of Justice and the FBI were silent. What happened during that period? Well, we received information that Attorney General Bondi pressured the FBI to assign, now get this, approximately 1,000 agents in its Information Management Division and hundreds of additional agents from the New York field office to work 24-hour shifts to review and produce more documents on Epstein on an arbitrarily short deadline. These officials were told to, quote, flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned. But after this flurry of activity using tens of thousands of personnel hours in March, it took DOJ and FBI 3 additional months to produce no new documents, but rather an unsigned memorandum on July 7th finding that, quote, this systemic review revealed no incriminating client list. Naturally, after all of the public promises Attorney General Bondi has made, the public is really suspicious of her finding. This suspicion has been exacerbated by public reporting that FBI Director Patel and FBI Deputy Director Bongino disagree with Attorney General Bondi's handling of this matter. Public mistrust has been fed by other claims in the July 7th memorandum. This memorandum included links to surveillance video footage from outside Epstein's cell in the hours leading up to his death. The July 7th memorandum describes one of the videos released as full, raw footage, yet experts who've analyzed it concluded the video was likely modified. The Trump administration has essentially created a new controversy rather than solving one. President Trump is not helping matters at all. Despite his administration continuing making promises about the transparency on Jeffrey Epstein and claims about the existence of records that have not been produced, he is currently telling the country the president is saying this is all, quote, a scam, close quote. Yesterday, President Trump posted on his personal social media site, and I quote, my past supporters have bought into this BS hook, line, and sinker. They haven't learned their lesson, and they probably never will. That's from the president's personal social media. This is the president talking about his own constituents who are concerned about claims his own campaign surrogates and administration have continually raised. President Trump and Attorney General Bondi are directly responsible for all this confusion and mistrust, and they need to be fully transparent, and they should release all of the documents for the public to review as quickly as possible.
What you just heard wasn't simply a senator grandstanding. It was Durbin putting his finger on something that millions of Americans feel. This case has been mishandled, misrepresented, and politicized from the very start. Let's rewind. Just 17 days into her role as Attorney General, Pam Bondi went on Fox News claiming she had the Epstein client list sitting on her desk. Think about that. An extraordinary statement, essentially promising transparency in one of the darkest scandals of our time. The White House then staged a flashy media event, pushing out binders of so-called Epstein documents to conservative influencers. But when reporters and experts looked inside, they realized the truth. The files were already public. Nothing new, nothing explosive, nothing close to what Bondi had promised. That should have been a red flag, but instead of coming clean, Bondi doubled down. She went back on Fox News, claiming that whistleblowers told her thousands of pages were being hidden by the Southern District of New York. She promised the country that, quote, "We will get everything, and the country will see the full Epstein files." But months passed, and instead of transparency, the Department of Justice went silent. Behind the scenes, according to Durbin, Bondi pressured the FBI to assign over 1,000 agents to comb through records under an arbitrary deadline. The catch? They were instructed to flag any record where Donald Trump's name appeared. This wasn't about accountability, it was about political damage control. And after all that manpower, all those hours, what did the public get? A memo claiming there was no incriminating client list, no new documents, and surveillance footage experts say may have been altered. Durbin is right to call this out. Instead of providing clarity, the Trump administration created more controversy. Bondi's broken promises and the White House's stage-managed document dump only deepened public suspicion. Even worse, reports suggest FBI leadership itself, Director Patel and Deputy Director Bonino, disagreed with how Bondi handled the matter. When your own top law enforcement officials don't back you, that says a lot. And then there's Trump. Rather than addressing these concerns, he brushed them off on social media as a scam. He even mocked his own supporters who still believe in the promises he and his administration made about transparency. That's not leadership, that's gaslighting. Here's the bigger picture. This isn't just about Epstein. This is about trust. The Justice Department and the FBI are supposed to be neutral arbiters of truth. When their leaders make wild promises, stage PR stunts, and then fail to deliver, it doesn't just embarrass the administration, it erodes faith in our institutions. Americans deserve to know whether powerful men who associated with Epstein are being protected. They deserve real transparency, not political theater. That's why Durbin's demand is so important. He's not asking for rumors or speculation or selective leaks. He's demanding that the full set of documents be released to the public so the truth can stand on its own. That's the only way to restore even a shred of trust in this process. So here's the takeaway. When leaders promise transparency and deliver nothing, when they say everything will be revealed and then hide behind unsigned memos and doctored videos, that's not justice. That's corruption in broad daylight. Durbin is right. Bondi and Trump owe the country the truth. No more games. No more dodges. Release the files. If you believe the American people deserve transparency, don't just scroll past this. Add your voice. Do you think the Epstein files should be made public in full? Should Bondi and Trump be held accountable for this bait and switch? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit like, share this video, and subscribe for more deep dives that cut through the spin and demand answers. Because democracy doesn't survive on secrecy, it survives on truth.